Hello and welcome to FSU Weather. I'm student meteorologist Evan Thomason with a look at your weather. Today, very cloudy over the Tallahassee area.
Quite literally. By interviewing the Batgirl.
As we look into back at our campus, we're looking very cloudy over our area, and that is because we are seeing precipitation all over the United States. With how big this cold front is, we're going to get into that more on the show. In fact, the weather actually tonight is going to be these little pop-up showers, which are not even from the cold front in itself. So we have a lot of rain coming for you ahead for the next 2 days and into tonight, where we'll see those storm chances start to rise for you in the future and in the near future, to be exact. Severe weather risks, definitely look out for that. When we'll finally see that sun begin to come back, and a look at your weekend forecast. Spoiler, it's going to be beautiful. That and more now on FSU Weather.
Tyler Sherrod. Can't believe Evan spoiled that weekend forecast just like that at the beginning of the show for us.
I mean, yeah, I was looking forward to it. Tomorrow's also looking pretty despicable, not only because we have midterm exams, but it's also shaping up to be a pretty stormy day.
Yep, tomorrow and Thursday we're going to see some of that rain stick around for Tallahassee as that cold front starts to move through our region. But after that, things are going to get a lot better. Once the cold front pushes through, you'll see those temperatures drop and we'll see the sunnier skies.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of you were hoping that the trend of Thursday storms was going away, but it's sticking around for at least just one more week.
Yeah, it seems like almost every single week we've been getting Thursday rain. I think last week was our only exception so far this semester. But going back to that cold front, those temperatures are going to drop, but it's not going to be quite as severe as what we've seen in the past. Those temperatures aren't going to get into the low 30s for our low temperatures, and the temperatures are really going to rebound fairly quickly as well.
Yeah, so spring is on the way. We are moving away from those colder temperatures. It's starting to look less and less likely that I'll get to wear my favorite choice of pants of jeans.
Yeah, I know. You always love talking about wearing your jeans, but as we go through each passing day, that's going to be less and less likely as we get closer to spring. So we're not going to see these cold bursts happen so much anymore. By the time we get into April, pretty much going to be close to being non-existent as we start to approach some of those summer months.
Yeah, so if you're looking forward to those warmer temperatures, keep your eyes open because they're most certainly on the way for you jeans-wearing fellows like me.
That's a very articulate way to put it. But I know I can't wait for those warmer temperatures. Love hanging out by the pool. Shorts and a t-shirt is the way to go. Not a huge fan of those cold temperatures and the tight jeans and hoodies. But now we're going to pass things off to Jonathan. He's going to give us a look at our southeast forecast now.
Thanks, guys. So speaking of warm temperatures, across the entirety of the southeast, we have this warm air mass in effect, with temperatures ranging from 77 in New Orleans all the way up to 81 in Orlando. And these are very warm temperatures for this time of year. And you're going to see that replicated in your dew points. Whereas as I said before, we have this very moist, warm air mass in effect. And that's going to produce dew points of 69 in New Orleans, 67 in Tallahassee, 67 in Miami. So upper 60s into mid 60s dew points stretching all the way from southeast Texas through the Carolinas. And that's going to introduce a severe weather risk that we'll talk about later on. And you'll sort of see the reason why we have this air mass in effect with the wind directions, as you have this southerly flow that exists all the way through the southeast, with the exception of the Arklatex region, where that cold front has already sort of pushed through, and you'll notice that with the shift in wind direction. Severe weather outlooks for today, most of the stuff is relegated to Texas, but we do know that overnight there was a tornado that went through Nashville, and we will talk about that later on. But you have a marginal risk that pretty much stretches all the way from Louisiana up through the Carolinas, and then a secondary area up in the mid-Atlantic through Washington, D.C., and then moving on to tomorrow's severe weather outlook. Before we do that, we're going to take a look at this cold front system stretching from Texas all the way up into New York, and you'll see these bands of precipitation associated with that, and that's going to be where these severe weather events occur. But for the satellite and radar currently, notice there's not that much activity going on other than some rain showers in these regions. But notice we do have these dark green text outlined in Mississippi, Alabama, and through most of the state of Georgia. And if you've been watching the show for quite some time, you'll realize that these regions have had these green boxes there for months and months. And that is because these regions keep having these cold fronts come through and then stall, turn into a stationary front, and then when that happens, the rain just sits and sits and sits over these areas. So, going through the next 24 hours, you'll notice on the radar how the rain just accelerates to these areas, and then the severe weather risk. Notice we have this line that really starts to ramp up as it goes through Georgia and northern Florida. And that's reflected in tomorrow's Storm Prediction Center outlook with a slight risk all the way across the Gulf Coast. Tallahassee, we were recently expanded to be into this outlook tomorrow. So expect some gusty winds, maybe some small hail, and a few spin-up tornadoes possible in these storms tomorrow. But for temperatures across the southeast tonight, very mild conditions associated with this air mass. And tomorrow, this warm temperature trend will continue as it comes through the southeast. Notice your temperatures are really going to be a gradient as you go into North Florida. And I'm going to go ahead and send things to David, who's going to take a closer look at the Tallahassee area.
Thank you, Jonathan. It was a cloudy day today here in the capital city. Here's a live look from Doak Campbell Stadium. As you can see, there's lots of cloud cover, and there's a little bit of breeze out there today too. Looking at the national picture here, you can see that we do have this cold front that is lined up here through the lower Mississippi Valley and into Texas. And we have this low pressure system down here. This one's going to affect our weather the next couple of days and bring us some rain and also the possibility of severe weather on Wednesday into Thursday, as you saw with Jonathan showing you the outlook for severe weather. As you can see, there's lots of cloud cover, but in the cloud cover here, there is quite a scattered showers about, and they are coming from the west to east, following the upper level winds that are at that level. The temperatures are currently in Tallahassee, it is 73 degrees, and Thomasville it's 72, and down here in Perry it's 72, and this is because of the warm moisture and warm air that's being advected or moved up by the winds out of the Gulf. And that also reflects the high dew points that we have here. Dew point temperature of 67 in Tallahassee and up in Thomasville 64. And these dew points may continue to rise a little bit more as we continue to have wind off the Gulf. And as you can see, the wind directions are from the Gulf going north. We have a slight wind at St. Mark's at 6 miles per hour. Here in Tallahassee, it's 7 miles per hour. Looking at the future cast, next 24 hours, you can see rain mostly to the north of us, but this rain will be filling in over the next couple of days, and we'll see that in the next, Here's the storm outlook. As you can see, there's slight risk for the Tallahassee and westward for tomorrow, and there's a marginal risk east and southeast of Tallahassee. This is tonight's weather forecast. We have a low of 65, storm chance, and some foggy conditions. For tomorrow, we have a high of 75, but it's going to be a rainy day, so you must be sure that you bring your umbrella with you wherever you go. Wind will be out of south at 12 miles per hour. Looking at the extended forecast, chance of thunderstorms tomorrow, Thursday, but the weather does clear up as you go into Friday and Saturday and Sunday, and it'll be a beautiful weekend. Time to get out and go to the park and to walk the dogs or take the kids to the park. I'm going to pass it over to Zach and Hayden at the desk.
Yeah, thanks very much, David. You know, like you said, we'd have that kind of severe weather risk over the next couple of days, so this is kind of a interesting segment we're going to go in to right now. Yeah.
I mean, unfortunately, with the Nashville situation, it's going to introduce us today into our topic of tornado myths.
Yeah, so, first of all, our thoughts and prayers are with everyone in Nashville tonight. And, these are some pretty commonly believed things that are out there, things you might read in social media, your family or friends might tell you about. And we want to make sure that the truth gets out there because we will, unfortunately, be having that risk over the next couple of
Especially in the
days.
spring season as we head into it.
All right, so let's just run off the list here. All right, Hayden, so can you outdrive a tornado?
I can't. Maybe not.
So, unless, under most circumstances, that myth is definitely busted. There is definitely, these are supercell thunderstorms. The tornado itself is going to be moving along with the storm at its speed. So in some cases that can be, 60, 70 miles an hour. So unless it's literally moving parallel, chasing you down the interstate, you don't have a chance.
Yeah.
So.
All right, so let's go into our next Is It a Myth? Tornadoes do not hit major cities.
Ooh, well, I think we saw last night that's also pretty well busted.
I'll agree with you there.
Yeah, and really, people believe this because the geospatial area of cities so much smaller than that of the farmland. The actual area of the U.S. that's covered by cities is relatively small. So
Yeah,
This
exactly.
is just a statistics thing, but there's nothing about a city that will scare a tornado away.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
All right, on to the next one. A protection for a tornado in a car is under an overpass.
Ooh, yeah, that's another pretty commonly misconceived thing there. That's also busted. It's pretty well busted because it acts like a wind tunnel. So basically, when you see these kind of, parking your car under there, the winds go faster. It's a much more dangerous location. So let's go over and take a look at the national map here. Probably going to see, like I said, some more of those severe weather conditions. So we're going to look at that at the big picture. Right now across the nation, we're warm here once again in the southeast. We've seen this kind of pretty much the whole winter long. We have 77 tonight in New Orleans, 73 over here in Tally, but those chillier temperatures up here in Minneapolis, we're in the 40s. Detroit, mid to upper 40s tonight. Boston, you're pretty balmy tonight as well, 51 degrees. So not too shabby out there right now. You can kind of see that line right here where that front is, and we're going to be talking a little bit more about that. The dew points, once again, those onshore winds from the south really dragging up all of that warm, moist air. You can see that 69 right now in New Orleans for your dew point, 67 in Tallahassee, extremely moist. You can really, you're really going to feel the oppressive humidity tonight. It feels like temperatures, once again, a little bit warmer than how it really feels. A little bit colder, though, up here, Minneapolis, 32. Out here to the west coast, once again, as well. In the 50s here in Billings and Bismarck, 34. So it's that dry, chilly air, and it's really feeling a little bit colder than maybe it should. Right now, for your satellite and radar, there's a lot going on right now, but for us here locally, I want you to pay attention to two things. This high-pressure system right here and this cold front / stationary front kind of thing that's going to be sitting here. It's really sweeping through the southeast right now, and this is what's going to be moving into our area and giving us that severe weather threat. Right now we have this other low-pressure system on the northern end. Toronto, you're seeing some snow showers tonight, but for the rest of the mid-Atlantic and northeast, it's just another soggy winter afternoon. Today's storm outlook, once again, we do have some of those up here into the Virginia, into D.C., almost up to New York. We have that marginal risk for some damaging winds, maybe some small hail. Another area along that front here, Tallahassee, up towards Atlanta. We have some slight risk, however, down there in Texas, though, so please do keep an eye out. A little bit closer look at Tallahassee area right now. We don't have anything too severe going on. We do have some of those lighter showers right there into Atlanta, going up towards Raleigh. But yeah, nothing here locally. We have those few scattered showers, and I think earlier, if you look really, really close right there, we have one little lightning bolt showing up for our satellite and radar. Not too awful much going on here in the Pacific Northwest. Rapid City, we have those rain and snow showers. Seattle, once again, seems like it's always raining, right? It's the rainy city. Overall, not too crazy much going on. Here's that big low pressure, though. Sitting right here over southern Canada, Toronto, like I said. You're right on that boundary. Looks like you are actually rain for right now. But yeah, the Virginias, that front is pushing through, so keep an eye out for those showers. It might be gusty at times. Next 24 hours or so, at least here locally, wow, we have this big blow up right here over Texas. We're getting into the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Heavy rain, maybe some thunderstorms or so. If we go into the day tomorrow, we have some, that storm continues to move off into the north and the east, so not too bad. And across the southeast tomorrow, a lot going on. Tomorrow's storm outlook, once again, we have that heightened severe weather threat with the slight risk. And yeah, tonight's forecast, more of the same with that warmth in the south. That cold air kind of bottled up here to the north. And tomorrow, once again, more of the same kind of idea. We have this kind of, warm, moist air here to the south. Overall, not too bad at all. We're going to pass things off, though, to Laura for her first segment on FSU Weather. Welcome, Laura.
Hi, thank you, Zach. So currently in Tallahassee, it is 73 degrees with scattered thunderstorms and winds coming from the south at 7 miles per hour. Looking at the radar, there's this cold front system from these two low pressure systems near New York and in Texas that are going to bring in some rain. Possibly tonight, there are some scattered showers expected that are going to push in from the west. Looking at the temperature, temperatures are in the mid-70s throughout the Big Bend region. 72 degrees in Perry and 73 in Tallahassee. It's cloudy throughout the region with sunny conditions and 75 degrees up in Bainbridge. Dew points are very high compared to the temperatures, which will bring in some foggy conditions tonight. So make sure you're careful while you're driving. And this is due to southerly wind. Tonight, storms are possible with foggy conditions and a temperature of 65 degrees. Sunset will be at 6:38. Tomorrow, showers are expected throughout the day. Temperatures will stay pretty constant throughout the day due to these cloudy conditions with 72 degrees at 12 p.m., 73 at 3, and 70 degrees at 6 p.m. Saturday, we have a basketball game at 4:30 p.m. It'll be a great day for a win with a temperature of 62 degrees, so it might be a little chilly. Maybe bring a jacket for while you walk to and from the game. Looking through for our 7-day forecast, it'll be rainy Wednesday and Thursday due to this cold front, which will just mellow out the conditions with lows near 40 on Saturday and Sunday, so make sure you bring a jacket if you're going out. But it'll be an overall really great weekend with partly cloudy conditions on Monday and rain chances again on Tuesday. Now, let's send it off to the wall with Jonathan and Evan. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Laura, and shout out to both Laura and David, who's done a great job on their first shows here today.
Yeah, that was a really good first show for both of them. But we're going to go ahead and take the time to talk about something that happened over the weekend. I know we're not the Mythbusters segment tonight, but there was an event that was described as a snow fire hose this weekend. And in reality, that was just lake effect snow. So you can say that was busted.
Thank you.
So upstate New York this past weekend received lake effect snow like they usually do in the winter. And both of us are from the south, so we don't really have that much experience with lake.
We don't have too much experience with any of that. I mean, I live all next to water, but with those winds, and it never really gets cold enough in the first place to be
you
able to
never
do
get
that.
lake effect snow off of Lake Pontchartrain. But it's common across the Great Lakes in the northeastern portion of the United States, especially in Canada during late fall and winter.
Yeah, and most of this comes from the actual warmth coming up from the lake in itself that is brought over to colder land, which actually helps to spark that convection.
There's a lot of misconception that lake effect snow happens when you have a frozen lake and then the water goes over, but that's not how evaporation works. So the evaporation from the warmer water over the lake enhances the moisture, and then that when it gets up in the cold atmosphere, then it really starts to condense into snow.
The water must not be frozen to be able to do that in the first place. It must be the warm source, really, to convection.
If the Great Lakes do freeze over, you actually see a great reduction in snowfall amounts in cities like Erie, Pennsylvania, and Buffalo, New York.
Anywhere that's near any city or town that's near any of the Great Lakes, Detroit, we could say maybe, Toronto, Syracuse, anywhere up in upstate New York where this happened this past weekend.
So you can get these snow bands with precipitation rates from 2 to 3 inches of snow an hour, which For people from Florida, that's pretty much unheard of. We're lucky if we get like 2/100th of an inch every 30 years. So
It's a great comparison rate. I like
yeah.
that, yeah.
But like cities such as Buffalo received 4 feet of snow this past weekend, or in the season from these lake effect snows. So that's significant.
Quite an amazing amount. That's almost as tall as Laura is personally, who just joined our show today. So for now, we're going to pass it off to the wall with Chris, and he's going to give us a look around Florida.
Yeah, that was pretty smooth, Evan. But right now we have this beautiful view of this cloud cover right above Panama City Beach, as it is very cloudy throughout all of the Panhandle right now. Right now on our satellite radar, we can see this cold front that has been providing us with quite a bit of rain throughout most of the southeast, and it will start pushing through the area, bringing the Panhandle storms first, as always, and then storms will start ascending further and further south. So right now, you have a little bit of scattered showers throughout the Panhandle. Most of the rain is situated northward, where the front is currently at right now. Our temperatures were mostly in the 70s. Our warm spot is actually Orlando, was at 81 degrees, 73 in Tallahassee. It's of course warmer down in South Florida with 79 degrees in Key West. So we're going into our dew points right now. Our dew points are fairly high, however, they're only in the 60s, so we're not really feeling those moist dew points and that humidity as much. But keep in mind, our dew points are high, it means showers are on the way. As we're going to start seeing over the next 24 hours, you're going to see some scattered showers form up by the coast, but more importantly, you see this front start pushing down into the Panhandle, which is going to bring some more severe thunderstorms as well as rain in the future. Tonight's forecast, Pensacola, Tallahassee, Jacksonville, you have those chances for thunderstorms tonight, whereas the rest of Florida is going to stay nice and cloudy. However, those storms are going to start pushing south as time goes on. Going into tomorrow's storm outlook, there's a slight chance of thunderstorms in the Panhandle. That is a 2 out of 5 risk for a severe thunderstorm. I know it says slight, but that is still a very noticeable number for getting a severe storm. Marginal risk extending out to Jacksonville, with areas extending south of just a lighter thunderstorm. Going into our 3-day forecast for around the state, Miami, you're going to stay fairly warm. It's going to reach 90 degrees on Thursday, but Friday, that front is going to reach you. You're going to start getting those storms, and you're going to have a 30% chance of storms on Friday. Tampa, you're going to stay in the 80s, but then that front hits you Thursday in the Friday, and you're going to drop those 10 degrees down to 71. Going into Orlando, you're going to stay warm, 90, but you're going to cool down on Friday. Jacksonville, notice that front giving you storm chances for Wednesday and Thursday. And moving into Pensacola, you got those storm chances Wednesday, Thursday, but for now I'm going to pass things off to Tyler for the last local look of the day.
Thank you very much, Chris. Let's take a look at that almanac. Today we hit that high temperature of 80 degrees. Been a little while since we've seen that, in a low temperature of 64. Still going to see some of those warmer temperatures until that cold front pushes through our region. We're above average right now, with the average being 71 degrees for our high, and that low getting all the way down to 45 degrees. So whenever we take a look at the national picture, we'll see this cold front is going to continue to push towards us and bring us some of that rainfall and some of those storm chances that Chris alluded to in our Florida forecast. But once the cold front moves through, high pressure will dominate through our region, and things will start to look a lot better as we have a sunnier weekend ahead. So let's zoom in a little bit closer to Tallahassee. Right now we're seeing some spotty showers move through the region. We have some cloud coverage all throughout the Big Bend as well. And as we go throughout the night, we're really going to see these rainy conditions persist. And things are going to pick up even more as we get into tomorrow as we go throughout the afternoon hours. For our temperatures, Tallahassee's sitting at 73 degrees right now. Thomasville's at 70. And Perry, you're getting up to 72 degrees. And as we look at those dew points, very high dew points, so muggy conditions outside. Whenever those dew points get close to the actual temperature, things do not feel comfortable at all. And the reason for all that moisture is this southerly flow coming out of the Gulf of Mexico is really bringing in a lot of the moisture from the Gulf into our region. And really, it's easy as that. Water over the Gulf is going to be a lot moister than or air over the Gulf is going to be a lot moister than the air over our region. So over the next 24 hours, still going to see some rain as we go through Wednesday into the morning. And as we go throughout the day, still going to see some spotty showers. A lot of the heavier rainfall associated with this front is going to be north of us, but that location still could change. So you want to make sure you keep an eye on the weather as you go throughout your day tomorrow. So for tonight, 65 degrees is going to be your low. Storm chances are going to stick around. You're going to see some foggier conditions as we go throughout the morning as well. And then once we get into tomorrow, 75 degrees, and it's a rainy day for sure. Make sure to pack that umbrella or the rain jacket, something to keep you dry out in this wet weather. So for the next 7 days, as I've been talking about the whole time, Wednesday and Thursday, you're going to be rainy. But as we get into the weekend, things are going to look much better. Friday, 66 degrees and sunny. Saturday, you're going to bring temperatures down even more, 62 degrees, but you're going to stay sunny outside. And then Sunday, we're going to start to see those temperatures pick back up with that high being 71 degrees. And then Monday and Tuesday, we're going to see temperatures get back into the mid-70s. And Tuesday, we're going to start some of that rain pattern coming back again. But now, going to pass things off to our final desk of the evening with Hayden and Jonathan.
Thanks, Tyler. So going back off of that 7-day, notice you have those storm chances on both Wednesday and Thursday. So we definitely want to talk about how we have a possible severe weather risk on both of those days.
Yeah, what it doesn't, so you see some rain, you're like, okay, that's typical, but this is not going to be your typical day.
Yeah, so there's a chance of severe thunderstorms from pretty much throughout Wednesday and Thursday. The Storm Prediction Center has us in a slight risk on both of those days. But we want to make sure that our viewers are more focused on the possible impacts and risks associated with this slight category rather than the color on the map.
Yeah, so a slight risk, 2 out of 5. Our main threat is going to be strong line winds of over 55 miles per hour, lightning, and some small hail.
But as you saw in Nashville last night, in the event that there is a possible tornado, we do need to make sure that we get into an interior level of our homes. Definitely don't go outside and take a video of it, especially if it happens at night.
Yeah, absolutely. If the tornado's going to be there before you know, so don't take a picture. Also, if you're going to school, it's a good time to talk to your kids and get a plan if something does happen.
Yes, and then another less known impact of these systems is possible flash flooding.
Yeah, as that station front's going to be sold out for a little bit, so right on that front, you can get all that rain. I know Alabama's been flash flood.
I've seen all the pictures of creeks back at home overflowing their banks. But we want to remind our viewers, turn around, don't drown. In case you do, if you are driving on the roads and you do encounter flash flooding, definitely do not try to drive through it.
Yeah, but on a better note, the weekend forecast is looking great.
Yes, sun. Finally, sun throughout the entire weekend. Well, actually, we've had sun pretty much every weekend, but it seems like during the week, the atmosphere...
But it's the weekend. The sun is so much more important.
The atmosphere is as happy as we are on the weekend, but as sad as we are during the week.
Yes,
we get these rain every day we have tests. But go ahead and follow us on Twitter at FSU Weather.
And follow us on Facebook at FSU Weather.
And then you can also watch us live on YouTube at 6 p.m. every weeknight. And then you can also always go back and watch our shows later on.
And lastly, follow us on Instagram at FSU Weather.
And we love it when our viewers send us pictures of the sunset, like the one that I think just happened. I think the sun has already gone down. But go ahead and send us your sunset pictures. After the storm clears, you can send us some damage pictures if you have them. Hopefully you do not have them, but if you do have them, go ahead and send them. So we just love to interact with our viewers on our social media platforms. But for now, I'm student meteorologist Jonathan Marcus.
And I'm student meteorologist Shane Wilder.
And this is FSU Weather.